we have that Chief Magistrate Court in Ibadan filed 4 charges against Queen Naomi Silekunola, the former wife of the Onni of Ife, broadcaster Oriyomi Hamzat, and Abdullahi Babatunde over the tragic incident that occurred on Wednesday at the Islamic High School, Bashorun, Ibadan. The event, a funfair carnival intended to bring joy to children, ended in chaos, resulting in the deaths of 35 individuals, including children aged between 5 months and 13 years. On Tuesday, the Iyanganku Chief Magistrate Court in Ibadan ordered the remand of the defendant at the Agodi Correctional Center, citing lack of jurisdiction to hear the charges. Chief Magistrate Olabisi Ogunkanmi did not take their pleas but directed that the case be transferred to the appropriate court. Police Inspector Sikiru Opaleye, the prosecutor, disclosed that the defendant organized a Christmas party for children but failed to ensure a safe environment, leading to the stampede. He reveals that the tragedy occurred between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. at Islamic High School, Bashorun, Ibadan. The charges include conspiracy, culpable homicide, and negligent acts causing harm. Well, quickly, I'd love to, first off, I would love to get your thoughts, because we have had individuals that have talked about this. Some people have politicized it. Some have said that this stampede that happened, first off, from the one that happened in Ibadan, Anambra and Abuja, most of them were caused due to hardship, you know, some related to the hardship of the country that we just talked about. But I would love to get your thoughts. So the charges have been actually placed on the Queen of Onni, former wife of Onni of Ife, and then other 2 that were organizers of this funfair carnival. But I would love to get your thoughts about the fact that there was a statement that was made that this stampede occurred due to hardship, because few times I've had discussions with some guests that actually agreed that hardship, you know, caused this because of the state of the nation. Like you talked about the looting of funds that has caused economic downbreak, you know. And then secondly, the safety measure that was not observed. Do you agree that that was actually a situation that could also cause the stampede that happened in Ibadan?
Yes, I do not agree vehemently that hardship caused it entirely. But before I say this, my heartfelt sympathy goes to Queen Naomi.
Okay.
Okay, because she meant well. From indication, she meant well, you know, wanting to give back to the society. But somehow, all this happened because those whom are saddled with the responsibility of organizing and preparing that event, I think they missed it in 2 important areas. One, the safety. You see, health, safety, and environment have become a norm. Even in workplaces, that's why we have workplace safety. Then also in public places like that, before you organize any event or hold rallies that will accommodate lots of audience and participators, there should be proper measures, HSE measures in place. Then now, in the case of the Ibadan Stampede, you see that the major players in that event, the invitees mainly are the children, you know, save for the fact that, you know, adults who accompanied them, maybe parents or maybe caregivers or maybe siblings and all that, who are adults who came with the children. A proper duty of care are owed those children. If you are holding an event that is going to host children, there are certain measures you need to keep in place. You owe those children, you the organizer owe the children a duty of care to look after them while that event is going on. There should be special persons appointed to like watchmen over the kids, because one, children are prone to harmful objects. They can pick a harmful object and injure one another. A child may play rough and get injured. Then another question is, if the proper safety measures are not in place, what about first aiders and first aid? In such environment, knowing that children are involved, they could play rough and get injured. Do we have a first aider, a trained first aider on ground? Do we even have a first aid box? As little, I'm not even talking about, a mobile hospital or something. Like a first aid box, should in case there is an urgent situation to ameliorate before the medical practitioners arrive.
Okay.
There should be, a first aid section in that environment. All this should be in place before you will hold such events. So my heart really goes out to her, because she meant well. She meant well for the children and the society, but of a fact, it happened the way it happened. So it's really a pitiable situation, and I also condone with the families of those who lost their persons during this stampede.
Okay.
So these are just some of the issues I think may have led to this stampede, and also when holding an event, for example, an event center specifies how many audience can participate in a particular hall, if it is a hall. If it is, an outdoor building, they should have a particular number of persons that can attend. So all these checks should be put in place moving forward.
Okay, you said you do not agree with the fact that that the case of the stampede was out of hardship. I actually wanted to put certain things out to you. I'm not going to be emotional or try to, be biased in any sense. Yes, I get your points, your thought about it, and I will not disapprove it. That yes, safety measures should have put in place. I feel I'm not going inside her, but if we have to recall, the place where they held this fun fair was in an Islamic school, considered to be an urban area. Probably she didn't feel the need to, because I'm just coming to render them help, so they should cater for themselves, because maybe they don't deserve to be, put attention to be put on them. First of all, because of the class, that's what I'm thinking. Secondly, when we have to refer to it at the hardship aspect, I've heard someone talk about a scenario where he said when he has been in a situation where palliatives were being distributed, you'll see some people collect, go and drop them, and come back. So everybody just wants to get everything. Everybody just wants to. You might be surprised that this children fun fair carnival that was held, adults actually got involved. Adults came, and then that was how this time. Because if it was just basically children, it wouldn't have been so chaotic as it was. Probably adults got into the scene, and then everybody was just scouting for food because they want to also, get something for their daily bread, to eat. I feel that is the aspect of the hardship level that was actually done, because things like this have happened. We've heard about cases of this in Port Harcourt, in other states, in River State and other states, that stampede occurred where palliative were being shared. Nigerians, the thing we rush, we want to get, everybody wants to get at the same time. But it's just that the case of this hardship, hunger and starvation is actually on the high rise. You know, I feel that was one of the reasons that got the Stampede issue into the question, this hardship issue into the question. But since you do not agree on that aspect, that is also, you know, good. It was understandable because you you have your thoughts and it's acceptable. But if we have to politicize it, you know, because PDP actually, you know, said something and said the APC and they're not really trying to, they're not doing something to benefit the country. If we have to politicize it, do you agree with that statement?
Yes, you see, politics have really become a bane to our society in Nigeria. We politicize everything. The politicizing of everything in the country have made us not to look at issues the way they are and prefer solutions.
Okay.
Human lives are involved here. And why I still maintain the fact that hunger and hardship didn't contribute to that stampede is this. There are organizers of that program. There are organizers of that program, okay? They ought to put the proper checks in place. If palliatives were to be disbursed, since the occasion was mainly for kids to have fun, you see it is centered around children. So there should be proper organization. The committees, because you can't tell me that Queen Naomi just woke up one day, got to that school with her team to do that. Prior communication, there should have been proper communication, exchange of communications before that date. She must have communicated her team, her committee, to that school or, you know, that vicinity. So say, look, oh, these are people coordinating, even though she didn't make it official, introducing her committee to the school, but there should be a committee handling that arrangement. So proper checks should be in place. How do we dispense of this sharing? How do we secure these children? How do we even protect the children? Because knowing that it's an event that will bring different people together, there should be security. Okay. These checks should also involve security checks. Since this event is for children, this palliatives belongs to the children, the security ought to, you know, be involved in putting these proper checks together. So it's just an organizational misfit. That's the way I see it.
And there were charges that were labeled against her of conspiracy. Do you agree in that thought that there was an act of conspiracy in that incident?
Yeah, you know, we lawyers, when a matter is in court, there are certain things we can't discuss in the public, not to be seen to be preempting. Okay. You know, but I am certain if I happen to be among Queen Naomi's defense team, I am certain that we will do a good job because, like I said before, she meant no harm. Okay. Okay, her intentions are real and good, but for certain organizational misfits, that incident happened. We pray it never happens again.
Your final thought, I would love to ask, do you think she should be charged or she should be convicted? Because charges have been pressed against her. Do you think there should be conviction over this scenario, or it should just be allowed to slide since, like you said, she had good intentions towards the children that were affected?
Well, the truth of the matter is that over 37 people lost their lives.
35 children.
Okay, 35 children lost their lives and some may be injured or something. Yes. I mean, it's quite a pitiable situation that people died. All right, and life, it's something that is very precious. When we lose it, we can't have it back. It's very, very sad that it happened like this. like you asked if it was proper for her to be charged for conspiracy and all that. You know, the prosecution has a way of doing their thing. When a crime is being perceived, the intent of the prosecutor is to get conviction. Don't forget.
Okay.
Why the intent of the defense counsel is to quash conviction and set his or her client free. All right? So the prosecution, you know, apologies here, the prosecution has a way of muggling up charges to make it difficult for the defense to escape justice. So the onus is always on the court to look at it. Are these charges frivolous? And also the defense team has a job to do looking at the charges against her. The ones they can approach the court for amendment and all that. So both parties know what to do at this instance.